Hello Ojo, this is Joe Castillo with LCE Graphics. Many good greetings to you, and I hope you had a good Christmas and New Year's and all that other stuff. But it's back to work, right? Today's Sunday now. We're closing till tomorrow for the holidays, but you know, since I am the owner and it's hi ho, it's off to work I go, right? Anyway, this is your system. This is exactly the same one that you have. And we're going to go to a quick get acquainted thing here with this. It might help you. Now sometimes there's issues that are involved, but we're going to try to first touch our bases. First of all, when you first turn the unit on, you should have a green light here, which means you're saddle stitching. If you'll notice, you have stitches in the center and stitches on the end. If you change the position, you select in stitch. Therefore, if you have in stitch selected by mistake, the machine will not advance the booklet because you have the folder connected, okay? So that could be why the booklet's not advancing. In other words, you may have this little setting which can easily be changed, as you just saw. All you gotta do is accidentally touch this button. So make sure that that's set at saddle stitch, which is the staples in the center if you're gonna make a booklet. The next thing, make sure that fold is selected. Down means no folding. Then it'll stitch it and send it out the bottom underneath the conveyor and not stitch it. It'll jam into the trimmer and won't work. So make sure that you have the fold. That's a symbol for fold above. Right below it is no fold, okay? Then you notice you have here a green light under your power, which means it's a go. If I stop the red stop button, look what happens. Your stitcher light comes on. Red light, that tells you, hey, your stitcher stop button is on. Or the stitcher safety cover is up. Now, if I lift the next cover to the left, which is this one right here, you have the folder light comes on. Okay? Then if I lift this third cover, which is over the fold rollers, the folder light comes on. So if you have a folder light or stitcher light there, it's either the stop button, the safety cover over the stitching section, wait a minute, the stitcher light is on. If this light is on, the red one right there, it is either this stop button or this cover right here. If the fold light, red light is on, then it's one of these two fold covers is a problem, or there's a sheet jammed in there blocking the signal, and we'll get into that later. Alright, so now here is where the set enters into the Bookletmaker. We're going to raise the lid. Alright, when you look up in here, you'll see right there is where the set enters. I'm going to try to illuminate this for you so you can see better. Make sure that you have your rollers spread apart like this if you're running 8.5 by 11, so that the sheet always has rollers sitting on it, depending on what size you're running. Now here's a little issue that gets people. Right here, I'm going to point my finger to this little flag. You see that little flag right there? That is an indicator flag. Now all that is a white plastic tab that flips forward when the sheet comes through. We're going to run it in a minute. You're going to see that happen. What that is a sensor that tells the stitcher, okay, there's a set here, I can stitch now. If that flag sensor is bad, disconnected, dirty, or if that little drop flag is missing, then the stitcher may not sense the set being there, and it'll just sit there and do nothing. Okay? Now, if the set is stitching and then sending the stitch, if the stitcher is stitching but the set is not exiting, then that could be a different issue. That may be over here where we had the position of the stitch selected incorrectly, or something like that, or it could be some sort of interference in the stops. Now when I'm looking down there, I'm illuminating right now underneath the stitch head. If you can see that right in the center of your screen, right underneath that stitch head is a set of stops. Now what can happen is the springs can go bad on that, or the solenoids can go bad, and those stop fingers could be stuck in the up position, you know, and also they may be jammed. So you have to make sure that your stops are dropping out of the way like they're supposed to be, and also make sure that there are no obstructions. Now we're going to run booklets through here. Now, what the best thing to do when you're troubleshooting a Bookletmaker problem, if you feel like you have a Bookletmaker problem, you come over here to the collator and you push the button Shift 9. And when you do, the Bookletmaker fires up and starts running. I'm doing the best I can with video here. Please understand, I'm the only one here today. It's a Sunday and everybody's at home with their families having a good time, and I'm here working. So I'm going to try to help you with this video. Now you'll notice right in the center of your screen that little white flag. I hope you can see it, but it's right there. You see that little white flag? Now watch what happens when the set enters. You see how it pushes that white flag down, that flag drops back? Okay, that white flag is instrumental in that booklet exit. Now I'm going to do this one more time so you can see it. Now watch what happens. Now this time I'm going to video the eject roller. This side, if you can see it, right there between the stitches. See that eject roller drop down? It's hard to see it. But right inside there is where that eject roller is. It is right here. It's that black unit right there. It's got a solenoid. Now that eject roller may not be working properly, and you've got some tricky adjustments for that eject roller. First, you want to go over here on this side and you pull up on the solenoid. This is the solenoid that pulls up the roller. When you pull up on this solenoid, you want to make sure that when it comes up, when the solenoid comes up all the way, that rubber wheel, if you can see that rubber wheel right there, see the rubber wheel going up and down? When this pulls up, that rubber wheel goes down and contacts the rubber roller underneath. If your solenoid is activated and it is not ejecting, you might want to check to make sure you have pressure down there on that roller. And that's a real important setting right there to make sure that that roller is in the right position. The position of the roller is adjustable up here on the top. This knob right here, you can loosen it and move the roller back and forth like that. You want to make sure that the roller is positioned centered over the top of one of the rubber segments that are underneath there. So if your solenoid is energizing when your stitch happens, so you're going to have to kind of watch it. If you see the little arm drop down on the solenoid and yet the book's not advancing, then you need to check the contact pressure between the rubber roller that I showed you on the eject roller and the bottom roller. And if when you pull up on that solenoid with your finger, and that rubber roller you should feel tension against the roller underneath. If not, you need to adjust that roller. Now we're going to run this whole thing again, and again we're going to test Shift 9 on your control panel on the collator. Either your set's coming out of the conveyor, Now what happens is if you have a set that comes out of the stitcher and doesn't make it to the folder on time, then this is what will happen. I'm going to try to emulate that. Then what will happen is you got a red light on the stitcher. See that? Okay, so what that tells you is that you got a set stuck in a stitcher, and then you have to reach in there and pull it out. Okay, now if the set exits the stitcher but doesn't make it to the folder, or makes it into the folder and doesn't make it out of the folder, the red light will show up on the fold section. You see how the light just went out just now? Shift 9 to run the machine again. We're going to put another set through there. This time I shut it off with the set stuck in the folder, as you can see. Alright, now if you'll notice, there's a red light on the folder, isn't there? See it? So now you know that the set is stuck in the folder. Alright, so anyway, that's basically the way the system works. As you can see on my system here, I have a green light in the saddle stitch position, which means the little staple symbols are right in the middle of the set if you're going to make a booklet. I have the fold selected. I have the green light here on the unit, which shows that it's okay, it's got power, you're ready to go. Don't worry about the stacker unit because you don't have a stacker connected. But if you did, then you could use a stacker on the end of this. But that doesn't really apply to you. Now I'm hoping that will help you. Now there's another thing that you want to keep in mind, okay? Is that over here on your collator, you see right now we have a red light on the collator, okay? That is that little symbol there says you've got a problem with your stitcher. Now what is the problem? We just had a jam and opened the cover. So we're going to eliminate that red light by just pushing the start button on the collator. But look what happens. I just pushed the stop button down, the little red stop button down on the stitcher, and look here. You've got a problem. Alright, now if you see that red light, you're not going to run. So if you push your run button, it's going to go beep beep, beep beep. You hear that? Beep beep. The double beep says, we're not going anywhere till you fix the problem with the stitcher. Now what can be the problem with the stitcher? The stop button could be down. One of the covers could be not tripping the micro switches. You see the micro switches right there with that little magnet? There are these two little switches right there. There's little prongs that push the switch in. You see when that lid is up, you have a red light on the stitcher. And it could be this cover, the folder cover. Either one of the folder covers could be the problem, or a set could be jammed in the stitcher. And that'll tell you right away you got a problem with your stitcher. Now, as soon as I cleared all the problems, and I've got a green light here and a green light here, especially here if I've got a green light, okay? And especially here, no red lights, see it? Now I'm going to turn that off. See, I've got no red lights on my trimmer, folder, or stitcher. Then I can come over here, push the run button, and as soon as I do, that red light goes out. Okay? Alright, but here again, I'm going to push the start button like we're going to run. Look what happens as soon as I push the stop button. See what happens as soon as I push the stop button on the stitcher? Or, not just that, if a set jams in the stitcher. So, as far as this Get Acquainted video that we've done so far, okay, this is a 14-minute video. It's going to take a long time to download this onto YouTube. I hope that after watching this, it'll help acquaint you a little bit better with the system you purchased from us. But just remember one thing, that the only way you can eliminate problems is, if you can't get the stitcher to work, take the folder off the unit, disconnect it. This little door here, when you take the folder off, you raise this door up, you disconnect the folder, unplug the folder, roll the folder away. Then you just drop this lid down all the way down, and now you have just the stitcher to contend yourself with. That way you've eliminated the folder as an issue. The folder could be a problem. Okay? So, and that way, with this lid down, you can more easily see what's going on. You see, once you take this unit away, this unit here, the folder away, then you've got just a stitcher to deal with. And so that'll reduce your issues. Okay? Now, so once you remove that, then what you do is you come over here and you push this button and you change it to end stitch. Now what that's going to be is, say you have a job that you want to staple on the end. Just go ahead and run it in end stitch mode. Select no fold, move the folder away, and then you got just a stitcher to deal with. Get all your issues resolved with a stitcher. Make sure the stitcher is working properly. All the bugs are worked out. All the things we talked about today. And then once you have all that resolved, and you know your stitcher's running reliably, you've run 100 sets through the stitcher, then you take the folder and you roll it up to the stitcher and you start troubleshooting there, because it could be an issue with your roller. There's a lot of things that can interfere with the set coming out of the stitcher. So be sure and double check. Now, if when your stitcher actually staples the set and the set doesn't advance even a quarter inch, and you notice that your eject roller is coming down, all right, then you need to check and see what the problem is. Not enough contact on the pressure. You can adjust that. But if your eject roller's not energizing, then there's got to be some other issue. So anyway, I hope this stuff has been helpful. This is probably the best way we can do it. The next best thing is for us, as I mentioned in the email that has this link for this video in it, all you need to do is call us on the phone. We'll try to figure out a time when you're awake and we're awake, that we can set this up. We'll have this whole collator set up for you, and by using this collator with a technician, and you on the other line, on the other side of the line, next to your machine, we can help you to resolve the issues the best that we can. And if we can't do it that way, then the next step is to try to get someone in, a technician there in your area, or something of that nature. But usually we can get it resolved this way. All right. Email, I can't fix machines over email. I really apologize for that. I could sit there and write an entire book and it wouldn't even be relevant. So I need your eyes and ears on your end, my eyes and ears on my end, and we'll get the issue resolved that way. Thank you very much, Ojo. Bye now.